You know, I'm really liking my Wisp fashion. I like the colors. I like the use of the regalia. I enjoy the attachments, the weapons. I like where the sword is. Okay, she's going, but I like where the sword is placed. And I even love the Sindana. Only one problem. When you move, it clips with her back thing again. Why is this still not an auxiliary? Please. Well, hello everybody. My name is Bricky. If you are feeling fancy, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Before I start Warframe and Tennocon 2019 talk, I do have a sponsor, and that sponsor is NordVPN, which you have not heard about yet. Wow, I cannot believe it. You are living under a rock. I don't know a single YouTuber who hasn't been sponsored by them. Many of you are pretty tech savvy and don't really need me to explain what a VPN is, but for those of you who do not know what it is, think of it as an extra layer of protection against people who are trying to get into your stuff. That's I think a pretty solid way to describe it, like a little extra layer to stop people that isn't a firewall that just totally messes with your computer. I've had Norton before. Yeah, I've suffered. Now, if you go down the description and look at that beautiful Bricky URL, you can go ahead and get 36 months of NordVPN for only $3 per month. And if you use that URL down there that says Bricky, you know, my URL, you get a month free because 36 months isn't enough. Let's do 37. So go ahead and check it out. I've been using it since September of last year. I haven't looked back so far, and my hope is that you will too. So thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring this video, and let us talk Warframe, Tennocon, and things you may want me to ask and discuss, and so on. So if you weren't aware already, which you probably should be by this point, I am going to be going to Tennocon 2019 next week. It'll be my first time outside the US since I was like 12 years old. I went to Mexico for about 15 minutes and left. That's a whole story in its own right. But I've never been to Canada before, and this is over in London, Ontario. And definitely took me a little bit to understand the differences between the Londons. Tennocon is over in London, Ontario, which I have never actually been to Canada before. So this is going to be a completely new experience for me, and hopefully a decently fun one, because I'm excited to try out all the super Canadian things I'm supposed to try out, which is poutine, Tim Hortons, maple syrup, curling, and a moose. There's also hockey, but I have had a decent amount of that where I live at Go Anaheim Ducks, and I've seen enough hockey games in my lifetime to not be a, oh god, I gotta get the Canadian experience type of thing. That being said, it is exciting to go to a totally new country. Even if Canada isn't the largest departure in a cultural differences, it still is exciting to go, oh, that's so odd, to go ahead and see some new stuff. And I'm excited to go ahead and go to the convention. It's my first time ever in Tennocon, so that's gonna be new for me as well. And I'm curious to see what's gonna happen, because they probably are gonna show off some pretty awesome new things, and I'm excited about that. I'm doing a bunch of awesome stuff too. I'm gonna be on a panel, which is cool because I haven't been on a panel in a really long time. And I'm also going to be doing a stream with another Warframe partner as well. And there's a lot of things I'm doing, actually, now I think about it. There's a lot of different events that's going to be going on. I don't know how many of you are attending Tennocon 19, but since this will be my first time, it should be pretty exciting for me to see how it operates. And also, I'd love to get the opportunity to meet plenty of fans and do signings and do all that kind of stuff. I think I'm supposed to have some kind of fan signing thing somewhere around there of some kind. I'm not quite sure. I'm not the biggest Warframe YouTuber. I'm not like a Warframe YouTuber to begin with, or streamer. There are plenty of more popular ones that they're also going to have all their things as well. But for those of you who are there and know me, it'll be awesome to say, hey, how's it going, Forehead Gang? But with the convention coming around the corner so damn quickly, I would like your questions, sort of. Now, there's obviously going to be some stuff they're going to unveil. I'm sure they're going to talk a lot about things like Railjack. I'm sure they're going to talk about some updates and certain things that they're doing. But I would like if there's any specific questions you'd like me to ask the DE team. Now, I'm not going to berate them with questions all day. I have human decency. But I would like to know if there's anything in particular that you're like, I would really want to know this, Bricky. I would really want to know if there's anything you can tell us about X, Y, or Z. Things like Railjack, those things will probably already be answered in the convention itself, because they always have big updates every single convention. But is there any niche stuff you're curious about? Any niche questions you'd like to know? Anything where you're like, you know, no one ever talks about this, and I would really like to know. So stuff like that. Is there anything in that perspective that you would be wanting me to ask. Obviously, I'm not just gonna berate them with a million questions, but if there's some things that you're really curious about, I can go ahead and reserve a good 3 or 4 questions for them, just for a good 5-minute conversation, and maybe I can get some answers for you. Things that I can tell you, of course, not NDA stuff, because there's a lot of things I can't tell you, and I'm really good at not breaking my NDAs. I've been doing this for 4 years now, not a single broken NDA. All right, so don't get excited. Personally, I already have a couple of things that I'd love to ask them. First things first, when is Wisp's stupid thing gonna be removed? A couple other questions, like more fashion ideas. Not really more fashion ideas, but some fashion options would be kind of nice. I'm curious if they're going to be adjusting some, obviously things like skins and stuff pay the bills, so I can't ask them to do anything about that. But certain things like, oh, hey, what are we gonna do about any kinds of different kinds of color palettes? Are you gonna give us an RGB slider of any kind? Because at the moment we just have color palettes, which is nice and all, but we're really getting close to just having an RGB slider, even though color palettes are platinum-based payments and therefore do help pay the bills. I think skins and helmets probably pay the bills more than those do. Hell, I'm doing Nightwave right now, particularly because I want to grab a color palette just so I can have a little bit extra customization, because that's obviously really nice. Are there going to be any more capture features? That's another thing I'm kind of curious about. I didn't really get into Captura, whatever, very often, but as of recently, I've kind of been enjoying it a little bit more, and I would love to see more of it in the future. New options. 3-point lighting system is already a super neat thing. I love that they did that, and I'd love to see more similar effects like that they can add to the game. I'm personally curious about what they're going to be doing with frames from here on out, because Wisp is probably my new favorite frame. I'd have to say Wisp most likely would be my new favorite frame because I just adore the character and everything about them. But this is a high bar to reach. You know, this is a very impressive frame in many different departments, both in animations as well as effectiveness. I mean, she's not like a Saren or anything in terms of effectiveness, but she is still pretty good. She looks good. She plays well. There's not a lot I would say that isn't solid about this frame. And it's hard to reach that same level of quality immediately following it. So is super fast Racing Man frame and Kirby frame gonna be anywhere near as good? I don't know. How do you top this? That's a big question. How do you top this? Truth be told though, I'm kinda just going to the event to have fun overall. Warframe is definitely one of the games that I found more and more enjoyment in as I played it, but it is still one of those games where I'm not majorly invested in like so many other people are, and I think that's what keeps me from being jaded, because I know a lot of the major content creators can be a little bit tired of the game in the sense of having so many hours in it, and therefore the quote-unquote, you know, end game memes start to kind of appear, and that ends up becoming a bit of a problem, and I can understand that. I can understand the idea that this can get a little bit tiresome if there's no end goal to be reaching. A good sense of progression is important in almost every game, and Warframe does kind of lack it in a certain extent. And so luckily for me, because I don't play the game a ton, I just kind of go in, do some stuff, and go out, the game still feels really fresh and enjoyable to me. Hell, I can use the same frame, Wisp, with the same gun, the Fullman, over and over again and really enjoy myself because the combat just feels excellent. I mean, there's one thing this game is really good at, it's having great combat, but, you know, power curve, don't know what that is, has obviously seeped into a certain extent, and it can, I can imagine, be a little bit jaded, or get people feel a little bit jaded after a certain period of time. Playing Warframe in nice doses allows me to be really into the game and keep it fresh for myself. So a lot of the big issues the game may suffer from, at least for its hardcore players, I don't have to deal with, and that's a conscious choice. I don't want Warframe to be like my new favorite song, where I play it 20 times in a row until I get sick of it and never want to hear it again. I like playing it once every so often and stopping myself from playing it too much so that I don't have that exact same issue again. But at the end of the day, I'm going to Tennocon because I really want to have some fun, you know? I'm going to go have some drinks, I'm going to meet some Canadians, I'm going to have Tim Hortons and see what the hell the fuss is all about, okay? Because everyone talks about that place all the time, forever. But drinks, games, couple events, some cool news to make me hype about the rest of the game, because that's mainly what I see people doing, is it's all about hype. Panel, having fun. That's what matters. And that's what I'm going to be doing the most of. Luckily for me, this isn't E3. This isn't about documenting and trying to see everything I possibly can and getting interviews. This is about asking a couple questions, doing a panel, drinks, and fun. And Canadians. Canadians are weird. Edda and Eddie said so. So for those of you who are going, I am excited to see you there. For those of you who are not, that is fine. Hopefully they'll show some cool stuff on Twitch. I would assume that they're live streaming a large part of the convention. I don't know if they're going to be live streaming any of the stuff that I'm going to be in, i.e. the panel, as well as some of the partnered streams. However, if they are, I would love to see you there as well. And for the rest of you, exciting times are ahead of us. Hopefully we can finally get some Railjack. Thank you so much for watching. My name has been Brick if you're feeling fancy, and I will see you very soon. Check out some videos on the top of the screen right now if there's anything else you'd like to see. And go check out NordVPN in the description as well, because they are my sponsor, and they help me pay the bills, because AdSense sure ain't. Bye-bye.